Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. If you're watching this, it's very likely that you've been in a situation or relationship with a narcissist, someone who has manipulated you, hurt you, and perhaps made you feel like you're no longer yourself. Do you remember those moments? The times you wondered why they treated you that way? The nights you lay awake trying to figure out the answer to the question, what did I do wrong to deserve this? I understand that feeling. I know how painful it is when you feel suffocated by their control, overshadowed by their ego, and left with wounds that no one else can see. But today, I want you to listen to this carefully. You are not at fault. They are the ones who are wrong. And the best part is, not only can you overcome them, you can make them feel the pain they caused you. No, I'm not talking about revenge in cheap ways like yelling, arguing, or trying to hurt them the way they hurt you. Those things will only trap you in the snare they've set for you. Instead, I'll show you a different path, a stronger, smarter, and more effective way. It's a path for you to regain your power, rise from what they tried to destroy, and make them face their worst nightmare, the helplessness of losing control over you. This video is not a dry lecture or a list of simple tips. It's a journey that we'll take together step by step, so you not only survive what they've done, but become the strongest, most confident version of yourself. I'll share with you 5 steps, 5 keys to do this. Detach emotionally, set strong boundaries, level up, reveal the truth with finesse, and finally, walk away forever without looking back. Each of these steps is designed not only to protect you, but also to make the narcissist feel the loss they never could have imagined. I know you might be thinking, how is this possible? They're too powerful, too skilled at manipulation. But trust me, they're not as powerful as you think. They're only strong when you give them strength. And today, we're going to learn how to take that power back, little by little. By the end of this video, you won't just feel liberated, you'll feel like you're holding the reins of your life, while they are left with the emptiness they tried to impose on you. So, stick with me. Take this time for yourself today, because you deserve this. If you're ready to begin this journey with me, if you want to not just break free from the grip of the narcissist, but also build a life you can truly be proud of, hit the subscribe button now. This is not just a video, this is a commitment that we're going to make together, step by step, to reclaim our power and live in alignment with our values. I'm here for you, and I want you to be part of a community of those who refuse to be broken. Subscribe today, because you deserve the freedom we're about to discover together. 1. Detachment. The art of dissolving their power. Now, let's begin with the first step, emotional detachment. This is the foundation of everything we're going to do in this video, so listen carefully. Have you ever noticed that every time you react to a narcissist, whether it's anger, sadness, or even trying to explain yourself, they seem to always find a way to turn the situation to their advantage? This isn't by chance. For a narcissist, your emotions are the energy they feed on. When you yell out of anger, they feel satisfied because they know they can still make you lose control. When you cry over what they said, they quietly enjoy the feeling that they still matter in your life. Even when you try to argue to defend your point of view, they still win because you're spending time, energy, and attention on them. Think about this for a moment. Every reaction you have is a sign to them that they still hold a piece of you. They don't care whether you love them or hate them. As long as you're still caught up in their world, they feel powerful. That's why emotional detachment is the first and most important step in making them feel the pain they've caused. When you stop reacting, you take away what they need most, control over your emotion. I know this might sound difficult. When they say something hurtful like, "You're never good enough," or "You can't live without me," your natural reaction is to want to fight back. You want to prove them wrong, want them to understand how you feel. But here's what you need to understand. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about being right or wrong. They only care about keeping you under their control. Every time you react, you give them a small victory. And they'll keep pushing, keep provoking you because they know that as long as you react, they still hold you. So what do you do to escape this? I want you to try a tactic called grey rocking. The idea is very simple. When they try to pull you into their drama, you give them no significant response. You become neutral, uninteresting, like a grey rock on the side of the road. For example, if they say you're useless, no wonder no one wants to be with you. Instead of arguing or crying, you simply say something brief like, "I understand," or whatever. Then you stay silent. You don't explain, don't argue, don't try to defend yourself. You just stop there. At first they will be confused. They're expecting a big fight, an emotional reaction that they can use to keep manipulating you. But when you don't give them that, they start to panic. They may escalate. They might insult you more harshly or try to make you feel guilty by saying, "I didn't know you could be so cold." But here's the key. If you stay silent and don't react, they will feel something they've never felt before. Helplessness. They don't know what to do when you don't play by their script anymore. They need your response to feel important, to feel powerful. When you take that away, they start to feel empty. I want you to visualize this in your mind. Think about the last time you argued with them. How did you feel afterward? Exhausted, right? You might have thought you won when you got your thoughts out, but in reality, they were the ones who won. They pulled you into their world, made you burn energy, and they walked away with the satisfaction that you were still affected by them. Now, imagine a different scenario. They say something hurtful, but you just look at them, say, "I understand," and walk away. You don't give them any emotions to latch onto. What happens next? They may try to escalate, but if you don't waver, they'll soon give up. And when they give up, they'll feel a void they can't fill, because you're no longer a source of emotional fuel for them. Detachment is not a sign of weakness. Don't misunderstand this. It's not about giving up or abandoning your right to feel your emotions. It's a powerful act, a statement that you will no longer let them control you for another second. You're telling them, not with words but with action, that they no longer have the right to dictate how you feel or how you act. And when they realize this, when they see that every attempt to provoke you is futile, they'll start to feel the pain of their own irrelevance. That's something they can't stand, the thought that they no longer have any influence over you. Try this in the next week. The next time they try to pull you into an argument or make you feel bad, practice the grey rock method. Don't yell, don't cry, don't explain. Just stay calm, say a brief sentence, and let them face the silence of your response. You'll be amazed at how they react, the confusion, the frustration, and eventually the desperation when they realize you're no longer the person they can control. That's the first step to making them feel the pain they've caused you. 2. Boundaries. Building an impenetrable fortress. Next, we move on to the second step, establishing boundaries. If detachment is how you cut off the energy they rely on, boundaries are how you protect yourself from their intrusion. Think of your life as a private space, a place where you have the right to decide who gets in and who stays out. In the past, the narcissist may have walked into that space whenever they pleased. They called you at midnight demanding attention, criticized you to make you feel small, and did everything to keep you under their control. But now, it's time to change that. It's time for you to lock the door and say to them, "No, this is my space and you are not allowed in unless I permit it." Why are boundaries so important? Because narcissists don't understand limits. They thrive on invading your time, your emotions, and even your self-esteem. They want you to always be available for them, always meeting their needs, always putting them above yourself. When you don't do that, when you try to say no, they react as if you've declared war on them. They may become angry, try to make you feel guilty, or even pretend to be hurt to get you to change your mind. But all these reactions show one thing: they fear losing control. And that's exactly why boundaries are the most powerful weapon you can use to make them feel the pain they've caused. Think about the last time you tried to refuse them something. Maybe you said, "I can't meet you tonight, I need time for myself." How did they react? They may have said, "You're so selfish," or "I didn't expect you to abandon me like this." They do this to make you feel bad, to make you doubt your decision, and eventually to make you give in. That's how they operate, They push you to your limits, and when you don't have clear boundaries, they keep intruding until you're exhausted. But when you set boundaries, and more importantly, when you stick to them, you're sending a powerful message that you are no longer someone they can manipulate. So, how do you build boundaries? First, you need to be clear with yourself. Take some time to think about the things you will no longer tolerate. It could be the random insults they throw at you, like you never do anything right. It could be the times they call repeatedly when you've said you're busy. Or it could be how they try to make you feel guilty every time you don't comply with their wishes. Write them down if you need to, a list of things you no longer wish to tolerate. This is not a negotiation, this is a declaration of your values. Once you're clear with yourself, the next step is to communicate those boundaries. You don't need to do this aggressively or emotionally, just speak calmly and firmly. For example, I won't continue this conversation if you speak to me like that. Or, I no longer answer the phone after 10 p.m. I need my rest. The key here is not to over-explain. The narcissist will try to argue with you, will try to find loopholes in your reasoning to make you feel unreasonable. But you don't owe them an explanation. You just need to state your boundary clearly and stand firm. How will they react when you do this? At first, they will challenge you, they may push harder, they might say something like, "Who do you think you are to tell me what to do?" They may try to make you feel guilty by saying, "I didn't know you could be so cold, I just wanted to talk." Or they may pretend to be hurt, as if your boundary is a personal attack on them. These are all tactics to get you to give in, to get you to open the door again so they can continue invading. But if you hold firm, if you don't waver in the face of their manipulation, they will begin to feel something they've never felt before. Picture this in your mind. You tell them, "I don't want to hear any more criticism. If you can't speak to me respectfully, I will leave." They might laugh at you at first, or try to continue criticizing to see if you're serious. But if you stand up and walk away, without arguing, without explaining, just taking action, they will be shocked. They're not used to being rejected. They're used to you giving in, used to you putting their needs above your own. When you don't do that anymore, when you show them that you're serious about your boundaries, they will feel the loss. They will feel like they no longer have control over you. And that's the real pain for them. I want you to understand that setting boundaries is not an easy thing to do, especially if you've been used to putting their needs above yours. You might feel guilty at first. You may wonder if you're being too harsh. But here's what you need to remember. You don't owe them your comfort. You don't owe them the right to intrude on your life. Boundaries are how you protect yourself, how you tell both yourself and them that you are worthy, that you deserve respect. And when you hold firm to those boundaries, when you don't let them cross them even once, you're sending a clear message that they no longer have the right to dictate how you feel or how you live. Try this in the next few days. Choose one boundary you want to set. Maybe it's not answering their messages after a certain hour, or not tolerating any more insults. Communicate that boundary to them, and then hold it firm, no matter how they react. You will see them try to push you, try to make you feel bad, but if you don't give in, they will soon realize they can't win. And when they realize that, they will feel the pain of losing control, the pain they caused you now coming back to them. 3. Growth, the flame that burns their illusions. Now we come to the third step, exponential growth. This is where you truly flip the script, where you not only protect yourself but start building a life that the narcissist cannot touch. Think about this for a moment. The narcissist wants you to believe that you cannot live without them. What have they said to you in the past? "You'll be nothing without me. No one else will put up with you." Those words are not random. They need you to feel weak. They need you to depend on them, because that's how they feel strong. They want you to think that they are the center of your world, that without them you will fall apart. But here's the truth. You don't need them. You never did. And when you start to grow, when you rebuild your life, pursue what makes you happy and become the best version of yourself, you shatter their entire worldview. This is the step where you not only regain your power, you make them feel the pain of irrelevance they never could have imagined. Think about this from their psychological perspective. When they left you, or when you left them, What did they expect? They expected you to crumble. They wanted to see you calling them, begging them to come back, to see you posting sad statuses on social media or struggling to move on without them. That's their victory. That's proof that they still matter, that they still control your emotions even though they're no longer with you. But what if you don't do that? What if you stand up, start taking care of yourself, and live a better life without them? How would they feel? They would panic, because if you don't need them, if you're happier without them, then their entire ego, which is built on the idea that they are irreplaceable, will collapse. Here's how you do it. Focus on yourself. I know this might sound simple, but take a moment to think about it. How long have you been putting their needs above your own? How long have you sacrificed your own happiness to please them? Now is the time to change that. Start with small things. Maybe it's going to the gym to feel stronger, learning a new skill you've always wanted to try, or spending time with people who truly care about you. Every small step you take to improve your life is a step farther away from their control. But don't stop there. Set bigger goals. Is there something you've always wanted to do but they made you feel incapable of achieving? Maybe it's starting a business, traveling solo, or simply reclaiming the confidence they tried to steal from you. Go after those things, not to prove anything to them, but to prove to yourself that you are so much stronger than they thought. But trust me, they'll know. They'll hear about you through mutual friends, they'll see you on social media, and when they realize you're doing well, no, not just doing well, but thriving, how will they feel? Loss. Not the loss of you as a person, but the loss of their control over you, the loss of their belief that they were the center of your world. Picture this in your mind. You've just completed a project they once said you would never be able to accomplish. You feel proud, alive, and you don't need their validation to know that you've succeeded. Meanwhile, they hear about your success. Maybe through a mutual friend, maybe through a post you shared. They were expecting you to fail, expecting you to call them and brag or beg for their attention. But you don't do that. You just keep living your life, happy and free. How does that make them feel? They begin to wonder, how dare she be happy without me? How could he keep going without me? That's the strongest blow you can strike against them, not with words, but by living a life that they're no longer a part of. I want you to understand that growth is not a race to prove something to them. Don't fall into that trap. If you try to flaunt or make them jealous, you're still playing their game. Instead, do this for you. Build a life you love, a life that makes you wake up every day with a sense of pride and purpose. And when you do that, when you no longer need their approval to feel fulfilled, they will feel the pain of irrelevance. They'll realize they are not the ones defining you. You are defining yourself. Try this in the next month. Set a goal you want to achieve, something that makes you feel alive, something they once made you doubt you could do. Then start taking action. Every step you take is a step farther from their control. And when you achieve that goal, take a moment to enjoy it, not because they'll know, but because you'll know that you are stronger than they ever thought. That's how you make them feel the pain they caused, not by putting them down, but by lifting yourself up. 4. Exposing the truth, the sharpened blade of truth. Step 4 is exposing the truth. This is a subtle but extremely powerful step because it strikes at the narcissist's biggest weakness, the fear of being seen for who they truly are. Think about this for a moment. The narcissist lives based on the image they've built for others to see. They want everyone to think they are kind, intelligent, flawless. They might charm your friends, deceive your family, and make your colleagues believe they're the best thing around. But you know the truth. You've seen their dark side. The manipulation, the lies, the cruelty hidden behind that perfect smile. And when you expose the truth, not by shouting or accusing, but by letting it reveal itself, you make them feel a pain they never could have imagined. Think about how they operate. When you argue with them, when you try to point out what they've done wrong, they always find a way to turn the situation around. They'll say you're too sensitive, that you misunderstood them, or even that you're the one at fault. They are so skilled at making you doubt yourself, making you question whether you're wrong. But here's what you need to understand. Arguing with them is a trap. When you fall into it, you give them a chance to keep manipulating, to continue keeping you under their control. They don't care about the truth, they only care about protecting their image. And that's why exposing the truth isn't about yelling to the world, but about letting the truth speak for itself through your actions. So how do you do this? First, stop trying to convince them or prove them wrong. I know this is hard because you want them to admit what they've done, you want them to apologize for the pain they've caused. But they won't do that. They don't have the ability to honestly self-reflect. Instead, focus on living in your own truth. When they try to provoke you, when they lie about you or twist the story, don't fall into the trap of arguing. Simply stay calm and let their behavior reveal itself. For example, if they tell mutual friends that you abandoned them without reason, you don't need to dive into a fight to defend yourself. Just calmly and briefly tell the important people in your life, "That's not true. I left because I needed to protect myself." Then leave it at that. You don't need to provide details or over-explain. When you maintain your composure and honesty, others will start to notice the inconsistency in the narcissist's story. They'll see how the narcissist reacts, maybe with anger, maybe trying to spread more lies, and they'll start asking questions. Imagine this. You're in a group of mutual friends, and the narcissist begins to tell an exaggerated story about how badly you treated them. In the past, you might have jumped in to correct them, to protect your reputation. But now you simply smile lightly, say, "That's not how I remember it," and let it pass. You don't argue, you don't get angry. What happens next? They might try to escalate, they might say something hurtful to provoke you, but if you don't react, if you just remain calm and continue with your life, the people around you will start to notice. They'll see the desperation in the narcissist's voice, the contradictions in their story, and they'll start to question. This is what the narcissist fears most, when others start to see through them. They might deceive a few people for a while, but they can't deceive everyone forever. And when you live your truth, when you don't let them drag you into their drama, you create the conditions for the truth to reveal itself. They will panic when this happens. They will try to push harder, maybe spreading lies about you, or trying to make you look bad. But the more they do this, the more they expose themselves. Your calmness, your confidence is what terrifies them, because it shows that you don't need to fight to prove anything. I want you to understand that exposing the truth isn't about publicly shaming them. Don't fall into that trap. If you try to shout to the world about what they've done, they will twist the situation and make you look crazy. Instead, let the truth speak for itself through how you live. When you continue living your life with honesty and dignity, when you don't let them drag you down to their level, others will notice. They will see the difference between you, calm and confident, and them, increasingly desperate to protect their image. Try this in the next few weeks. The next time they try to twist the truth or drag you into their drama, don't argue. Just stay calm. State your truth briefly if necessary and let it pass. You'll see how they react, the confusion, the anger, the desperation, when they realize they can't get you to react anymore. And when the truth starts to come out, when those around you begin to question them, they will feel the pain of being seen for who they really are, the pain they caused you now coming back to them. 5. Walking away. The crown of freedom. Finally, we come to the 5th step, walking away forever. This is the decisive step, the one where you not only protect yourself, not only grow exponentially, but also sever all ties with the narcissist. Think about this for a moment. The narcissist needs you in their life, even if they don't admit it. They need to know that they can still influence you, that you still think about them, that there is still a connection between you, no matter what they've done. When you walk away, and more importantly, when you never look back, you take away everything they rely on to feel strong. Think about how they operate. When they leave you, or when you leave them, what do they expect? They expect you to come back. They expect you to call and apologize, beg them to return, or at least give them a chance to continue manipulating you. That's why they often come back after some time, perhaps with a message saying, "I'm sorry," or a provocation to get you to react. They do this because they can't bear the thought that you've truly left. They need to know that you're still affected by them, that you still need them in some way. But when you sever all ties, when you don't give them any opportunity to come back, you make them feel the deepest pain, the pain of irrelevance. So, how do you do this? First, you need to cut all contact. I know this may sound harsh, but hear me out. Every time you respond to their message, every time you check their social media, every time you ask about them through mutual friends, you're signaling that they still matter in your life. Even if you only reply to say, "I don't want to talk," you're still giving them the attention they crave. The only way to truly walk away is to sever all ties. Block their number, delete them from social media. If possible, avoid people who might pull you back into their drama. How will they react when you do this? At first, they will try to pull you back. They may send an apology message like, "I was wrong, I just want to talk." They might try to provoke you by saying something hurtful like, "I know you're not strong enough to forget me." They may even have mutual friends contact you, trying to make you feel guilty for leaving. These are all tactics to test if you're really serious. But if you don't respond, if you remain silent, they will begin to feel something they've never known: emptiness. Imagine this in your mind. You've blocked them on every platform. You no longer check on what they're doing, no longer inquire about them. One day they send a message from a different number saying, "I just want to apologize. I've changed." In the past, you might have responded, maybe even given them a chance to explain. But now, you simply delete the message and continue your day. What happens next? They don't know if you've read the message, if you care at all. They have no way of pulling you back. And when they realize that, when they realize you've truly left, they will feel a void they cannot fill. This is the deepest pain for them, the thought that you no longer need them. They want to believe that they left an indelible mark on your life, that you will always carry the wounds they inflicted, that even when they're no longer with you, they still have control over you in some way. But when you walk away without looking back, when you live your life as if they never existed, you shatter that belief. You show them that they are not the ones who define you, that you are stronger than they ever thought, and that you don't need them to feel whole. I want you to understand that walking away is not an easy decision. You may feel lonely at first. You may question whether you're being too harsh. But here's what you need to remember. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them a second chance. You don't owe them the right to return to your life. Walking away is how you declare your freedom, how you tell both yourself and them that you deserve a life without manipulation, without drama, without the pain they cause. Try this in the next few months. Commit to cutting all contact with them. Don't respond to messages, don't check on them, don't give them any opportunity to come back. You'll see them try to reach out, try to pull you back, but if you hold firm, they will soon give up. And when they give up, they will feel the pain of being forgotten, the pain they caused you now coming back to them, and they won't be able to do anything to change that. Before we close today, I want you to pause for a moment and think about what lies ahead of you. As you take these steps, detaching, setting boundaries, growing, exposing the truth and walking away, you're not just leaving behind the narcissist or the wounds they caused. You are opening the door to an entirely new life, one where you are the one in control. Imagine waking up in the mornings with a sense of relief, no longer worried about what they will say or do to hurt you. Think about the new relationships you will build, people who truly appreciate you, love you for who you are. You will have time to pursue dreams you once put aside, to discover parts of yourself they tried to suppress. That is true freedom, not just escaping them, but finding yourself again, stronger, more confident, and more whole than ever before. The journey ahead is not just survival, it's rebirth. And you've only just begun. So, we've gone through this journey together. 5 steps: emotional detachment to make them powerless, setting boundaries to protect yourself, exponential growth to rise above them, exposing the truth to unmask them, and walking away forever to reclaim your freedom. Each of these steps is not just a tactic. They are declarations of your values, your strength, and your right to live a life that is not controlled by the narcissist. Think about where you started. Perhaps you felt exhausted, doubted yourself, and wondered whether you could ever overcome what they had done to you. But now you have a plan. You have the strength to change your story. The narcissist is not an enemy you need to defeat with fists or words. They are a lesson you overcome to become stronger, wiser, and more confident. They thought they could destroy you, but today you've proven them wrong. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. I want you to do something right now. Stand up, place your hand on your heart, and promise yourself that you will never let them take your power away again. You are not their victim. You are a survivor, a warrior, someone who will live a life they will never touch. You deserve that. You have always deserved that. And now, you have the tools to make it a reality. If this video resonated with you, if it inspired or empowered you, leave a comment below. Share your story. How did you escape the narcissist in your life? Or simply say, I'm ready. I want to hear from you because you are not alone on this journey. Together we are building a community of those who refuse to be broken, those who reject allowing others to define their worth. Hit the subscribe button if you want to continue this journey with me. I'll be bringing you more videos to help you not only overcome challenges like this, but also build a life you love. We are stronger than they ever thought. I believe in you. I truly believe in you, and I know that you can do this. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, you deserve this freedom. You deserve this happiness, and no one, no narcissist can take that away from you. Start today and live the life you've always deserved.